You say you miss them. You can't stop replaying the memories in your head, the way they laughed, the way they looked at you, that incredible feeling of finally being wanted. But let's be really honest with ourselves for a moment. You don't actually miss them. You miss who you thought they were. You miss the version of them that you built up in your imagination, not the one who consistently hurt you, ignored your needs, or made you question your own worth. You fell in love with potential. You fell in love with fragments. You fell in love with the hope of what they could have been. When they first entered your life, it felt like magic, didn't it? They gave you just enough light to make you believe in a raging fire. They mirrored back to you everything you've always craved: a sense of safety, undivided attention, a deep connection. But looking back, that wasn't real intimacy. It was projection. You weren't really falling in love with them. You were falling into a pattern of recognition. They fit the blueprint of your deepest wounds perfectly. The way they pulled away felt so familiar. And the way you desperately tried to fix it, to earn their love back, felt completely normal. And so, you stayed. You convinced yourself that if you just loved them a little harder, a little more selflessly, they would finally become the person they pretended to be at the very beginning. But that person never truly existed. That initial version of them was a performance, an act they put on to pull you in. And once they had you, that person slowly faded away, replaced by silence, mixed signals, and apologies that never led to any real change. Now you're left stuck, replaying memories of moments that have lost their meaning, moments that weren't even real in the way you thought they were. You find yourself scrolling through old photos, rereading text messages, listening to songs that instantly bring them back to the forefront of your mind. In these moments, your brain can't distinguish between the love you felt and the loss you're experiencing now. It just keeps looping through the same painful questions. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I was just too much for them. Maybe if I had just been a little more patient, ... double quotes, but deep down, beneath all that noise, you know the truth. You're not missing them. You're missing the illusion of safety you so carefully constructed around them. You're missing the version of yourself that finally believed you were chosen. You miss the intoxicating high of being wanted. The way it felt when they looked at you and made you think, this time, it's different. This time, it's real. But the hard truth is, you were loving someone's mask. And that's precisely why this hurts so much, because you are grieving something that never fully existed in the first place. We often think grief is about what we've lost. But sometimes, the deepest grief comes from what we never got to have. You're mourning the future that was promised, but never delivered. The one day that never arrived. The sincere apology that never came. The closure you'll never receive. And that is truly the hardest kind of heartbreak, the kind that feels like it has no ending. Because in many ways, it never had a true beginning. But here is the forbidden truth that might set you free. You were always the one giving more. You were always the one holding the fragile threads of the connection together. And that's why it feels so empty now, because you were the only one who was really truly there. When they left, it didn't break you. It revealed who was actually invested all along. You keep thinking that healing means forgetting them entirely. But healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about seeing it clearly for what it was. It is about recognizing that what you miss isn't the love you shared, it is the fantasy you created. And that doesn't make you foolish. It makes you human. We all want to believe that people mean what they say. We all want to believe that love will finally feel safe and secure. But now you know better. You know that real love isn't supposed to confuse you. It's not supposed to make you question your own reality. And it's definitely not supposed to disappear every single time you ask for the bare minimum. Real love doesn't make you beg for affection. It meets you exactly where you are. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I miss them," I want you to pause and ask yourself a different question. Do I miss them, or do I miss the version of me I was when I still had hope? That version of you deserves so much compassion. She loved deeply, honestly, and with incredible bravery. But she was loving someone who simply didn't have the capacity to stay. And that's okay. You can forgive yourself for falling for the illusion. You can grieve what you thought it was. And then you can gently set it down, because healing isn't about hardening your heart. It's about teaching it discernment. It is about understanding that not everyone who says, "I love you," is capable of giving love. You don't need to close yourself off from the world. You just need to open your eyes to see that real love isn't built on fleeting moments of intensity. It's built on consistency, on honesty, on a feeling of peace. And that peace will never, ever come from the same person who broke you into pieces. The truth is, you don't actually want them back. You want the feeling you had before you saw the truth. But once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending. You can't unknow that you were settling for an almost love, a love that was conditional and incomplete. And that, right there, is where your awakening begins. So no, you don't miss them. You miss the illusion. You miss the comfort of not knowing better. But now you do, and that knowledge is your freedom. Because the moment you stop romanticizing what broke you is the exact moment you create space for what will finally heal you. One day soon, you will look back on this time and realize that losing them was never a loss at all. It was a return to yourself, a return to your clarity, a return to your peace. And when that day comes, you'll smile not because you ever got them back, but because you finally got yourself back. Thank you so much for being here and listening. If this resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe for more truths about love, healing, and self-worth. It means the world to me. See you next time.